So as everybody knows, we like Enchis. Enchis are, aside from spiders, probably my favorite codominant mutation. We're going to take our time, we're going to look at some Enchi combos here, and hopefully show you some stuff, some neat stuff. Anyhow, so this is an Enchi. This is just a standard, good old-fashioned Enchi. You can see a lot of people have trouble distinguishing Enchi from normal. I personally don't see why. Enchis are very banded animals. She's getting kind of squirrely. Enchis are very banded animals, as you can see, bands. And instead of black, they sort of have this kind of caramel color. And then, and the reason they were originally called Enchi pastels, and that's because they have green eyes. Let's see if I can get you in. Can you get close up on her eyes? They have the same eyes as a pastel. And so, when they were first imported from Enchi, Africa, it's a village in Togo, I believe. People thought they were a new line of Enchi, or a new line of pastel, and in fact, a guy named Lars in Sweden was the first guy to work with them, and he called them Enchi pastels because they were from Enchi, Africa, and they looked a lot like pastels, or kind of dirty, crazy, crappy pastels. So the name stuck, Enchi pastel, or pastel, yeah, Enchi pastel. Well, we come to find out that they're not the same genetically as pastels, because they've got you know, some different things they do, and we'll look at some of those. So this is an Enchi. This is actually a really nice Enchi. Let's see if she'll open up here. It's actually a really nice Enchi. Look at that dot. Anyway,
staring at me, Mom.
Really, really nice Enchis won't have a lot of your typical like alien heads, and a lot of your typical dots. We really work to try and produce nice Enchis that don't have dots. So let's look at some combos now that we know what an Enchi looks like. Alright, so this is what happens when you breed an Enchi and a pastel together. So this is the combination of the pastel and the Enchi gene in the same mutation. This little guy, he hasn't yet eaten. So he's kind of not really looking his best, but you can go back and see some of the other Enchi, pastel Enchis that we've hatched over the last couple of years, some of the videos. And this guy, as they shed, they just get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter yellow. I really think, I love the way the pastel and the Enchi works together. I love the color. And as they grow, they get more and more and more yellow. Like right now, like I say, he's really not looking his best. So he's just, this snake in about 2 months is just going to look insane. So this is a pastel Enchi. Pastel Enchis, every pastel Enchi I've ever hatched, and every one I've ever seen, has this X on the head. You can kind of see sort of a faded sort of clover leaf on the head there. And even as adults, you know, let's look at an adult pastel Enchi. Again, this guy's going into shed himself, so he's really not looking his best either. But even as adults, you can still look at that head and see they still have this clover leaf, this faded clover leaf on their head. Which is, I mean, that's right out of the egg. You can see that in the egg and go pastel Enchi every time.
Let's compare the two, shall we, Bill? No.
Yeah, don't go underneath. Don't go upside down. So, pastel Enchi.
We're not going to Uncle Ben's.
That mutation, this combination is key to a lot of different really cool things. Hopefully we'll see this thing get into some piebald, and we'll see this thing get into some, I pull a Kevin McCurley.
Until it bites the crap out of you.
Yeah. They're a little like that. It hurts too, because they're like, ah! I like how it's like his little head stripe is broken right there on the back of his neck.
He's gangster like that. Look at that.
And he's got his hat all tipped to the side.
Yeah. He's like, "What's up, dog?"
It's like, is it a rat? Can I eat it?
It's-
Alright.
It's an albino.
Alright, so, pastel Enchi. Alright, so we've looked at the pastel Enchi, which is here. Right? And so, this is a super pastel Enchi. Let's put the pastel Enchi back up. Y'all can just look at the super pastel Enchi. And again, if you look at the top of the head, there it is. There's that unmistakable X. Try and keep that thing tipped. Sort of vertical. There's that unmistakable X that, again, I've seen people and they buy a pastel Enchi, or they buy what they think is a pastel Enchi. And, you know, they shoot me pictures of it, and they're like, you know, look at this pastel Enchi I just picked up. Unfortunately, if it doesn't have that clover leaf, it's not a pastel Enchi. So, you got enough light there.
Yep.
Alright, so, here is a super pastel Enchi. And I'm just going to look over my cameraman's shoulder here, because I want to see what this thing looks like on camera. Oh yeah, wicked, wicked color. So this is the homozygous pastel and the heterozygous Enchi. And again, there's that faded out X on the head. And you're getting all of this nice, blushing in here from the super pastel.
He's even got a little bit of yellow in between that one. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, that little dot.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's nifty.
And then the Enchi really comes in, and we've hatched out some super pastels before, and they're really sort of creamy, sort of off beige color. And with the Enchi just comes in, and it just, as you can see, really, really punches up the color. And this guy, again, as he grows and sheds, and he's eaten a couple of times, so as he grows and sheds, this thing is just going to get more and more and more insane. And one of the things I'm learning about pastels and pastel Enchis and stuff like that is when you're looking to see how this animal is going to mature, if you can look, can you see these little black flecks right here? See right there?
Yep.
That's all that animal is ever going to have, is in the way of that darkening that pastels sometimes get on their backs. And that's the Enchi at work. I've got super pastels that over the years they darken up, but these little black flecks that you see, these little dark scales in up around this dorsal region here, that's all that animal is ever going to have. And you can see more of them in the pastel Enchi. The pastel, let's get him kind of tamed up here. The pastel Enchi has got a lot more of even this going on. So I love how even his color is. That's just going to be... I can't wait to get this into like fire and yellow belly and even disco. I'd love to see this. I'd love to see the disco version or the vanilla version of this. I think that would just scream. Alright, so super pastel Enchi.